authority when I walk, boy.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another day of NGS action. It's gonna be a double header today, one game starting at 7:30 Pacific and the other starting right now. It's gonna be Division A gillyShark at Bingo Night versus the High Inquisitors. Now this should be a very fun matchup. We are in Division A, and if we take a look at the standings, High Inquisitors currently tied in first place, 23 points, exact same win record, exact same games played as under noob management. But gillyShark at Bingo Night, they're in fourth place. They are not far behind, only 5 points total. That's one domination and one map. So this could definitely go to anyone. This is going to be a battle of the Titans of Division A. And should be a very good one going forward. But now we have our map picks already done. And the coin toss was won by High Inquisitors. And it's going to be Cursed Hollow and Tomb of the Spider Queen banned for them. And they did take map pick. And gillyShark at Bingo Night banned Braxis Holdout and Volskaya Foundry. And the first map will be Infernal Shrine. So should be a fun one. And actually, they got their ready check done really quick, so we can head right into draft. And Begatron, it will be the heroic matchup. The Boomers versus... I always forget the other team. Solid School. So, again, also going to be a good matchup. But that's going to be 2 hours from now. For now, we got this Division A game. Now, Infernal Shrines. I mean, typically, this is one of those maps... you want a little bit of AoE clear. You definitely want some with AoE damage. So stuff like Tychus is pretty good. Hogger in the offlane. This is Hogger's best map in my opinion. So if either of these two teams do like Hogger, this is where it's going to be picked. And then obviously Leoric and Dahaka and Blaze, they're good on basically every single map. And Infernal Shrines is no exception. It will be interesting to see what they do decide to pick here. But Sylvana is going to be the first ban. Getting removed by gillyShark at Bingo Night. And with that, it's definitely going to lower the amount of pressure you can have. It's definitely going to lower the amount of push potential you can get. But again, this is one of those maps where there is a lot of fighting happening. The Punisher is one of the few objectives in the game. In fact, might even be the only one that doesn't actually target any structures. It targets heroes specifically. Now the ban's starting to come through pretty quickly. High Inquisitors gonna ban the Muradin, and gillyShark gonna ban out the Dahaka. And like I said, Dahaka really good over on this map with that global presence, that Brush Stalker. able to go between the top and bot lane super quickly. And this is a very tall map, so it definitely would create a lot of pressure. Same logic for that false stat ban coming out of High Inquisitors. But Iron immediately going to lock in the Lucio. Now, it is interesting because I haven't actually been seeing that much Lucio played. I have definitely seen it getting banned in the Division A in the Heroic Div. I believe that overall the Soundwave did get nerfed last time since the last patch. So overall might be a little bit weaker. But frankly, I haven't seen enough of it to really know for sure. And my skill level in the game isn't high enough to know outside of NGS. But High Inquisitors, they're going to lock in the Stukov for Killer Fairy and Joanna for Sir Noble. And the Joanna-Stukov combination's definitely going to be pretty good. Lots of lockdown and very good peel specifically. So if they want to go for any one of those glass cannon backliners, this would be a perfect composition to bring him in with. As Diablo and Greymane locked in for Schumann and Chest Looter. So that's a pretty interesting composition right now. I mean, Greymane definitely also got buffed. Very likely on the Worgen build specifically. Has that extra armor on that level 1 talent. And if it is going to be the Worgen build, it's pretty entertaining to watch in my opinion. I mean, it's definitely one of my more favorite carries to cast over in this game. Now Zagara going to get banned by the High Inquisitors. And gillyShark and Bingo Knight, it's going to be pretty hard for them to decide who to ban. They haven't really shown anything in their team composition besides maybe the Stukov, kind of showing how they want to play. And Leoric is a very good ban for that. Has a lot of potential when paired with the Stukov. When you get that Entomb into the Lurkin arm, makes it so difficult to get out of there, adds so much damage as well. But with that, the next two picks from High Inquisitor is going to be coming out very shortly. And they still need their carries, and they still need their offlaner. Now, potentially with the flex, they could try to do something a little bit fancy as well. But it's actually going to be the Cassia for Kurama and the Tassadar for Blue Abyss. Now, Tassadar is pretty solid on Infernal Shrines, but Cassia's an interesting pick. Can definitely do a decent amount of damage over to the skeletons with the Rend. But depending on the build, may struggle a little bit fighting around the objectives, especially if going with the Lightning Fury build. Let's see the cooldown for Ekib and the Lost Vikings for Stark. Now that's going to be a solid offlaner. Definitely going to be able to soak up every single lane, provide pressure all around the map. Very difficult to deal with if the Vikings are played correctly. And the amount of damage they scale up with is insane. Not to be underestimated, but those Lost Vikings, once those level 16s, once those level 20s hit, can one-hit one of the carries. But High Inquisitors, their response, it's going to be the Sonya for Tuesday's free. And Sonya can deal quite a bit of damage as well. Can definitely take down the Vikings very fast. And I think maybe they could even try to kind of group them together. Try and get sort of farm little levels off of them. Because even though one kill doesn't matter, if you kill 7 or 8 little Vikings, it does add up. But either way, those were the drafts. Both our teams are ready to go. And we're heading over to game number 1. All right, and we're just about loaded in. Infernal Shrines versus with gillyShark and Bingo Knight versus the High Inquisitors. Now I'm trying to look at these two teams and I'm trying to decide who outscales. I do want to give a little bit of an edge to the scaling for High Inquisitors. And I think their team fight's going to be very good just because they have the Joanna, they have the Leap. Most likely the Leap anyway, coming out of Chest Looter. And they have a lot of different tools for those team fights. Schumann as well. Diablo is so strong in team fights. But at the same time... Or sorry, that's the wrong team. But Tuesday's free on that Sonya. Going to be super strong in team fights. The Joanna as well going to be able to keep everyone off of them. But Schumann should scale really well to team fights. Same with all of the little Vikings. Already Stark is aiming at all 3 lanes. But interestingly enough, gillyShark and Bingo Knight, it looks like they immediately want to head over to the bot lane with the vast majority of their players. They're going to get set up and going to see what they can really do. Maybe get a little bit of damage over on the structure Or maybe they're just looking to try and catch someone out. But no, it looks like they're going to immediately just push down onto this bot cannon tower. They're going to take a little bit of damage, but obviously with the Lucio, there's kind of consistent passive healing going on. And so they will definitely be fine. Just kind of get that extra damage as one of Stark's little guys almost goes down. I believe that is Eric. Gotta take me a little bit to figure out which Viking's which with this skin, I'll be honest. But I believe that is Balog middle and Olaf over in the top lane. So Stark already getting that tri-lane push. And it seems like no matter what, kind of wants to have one Viking in every single lane. But High Inquisitors, they're going to send 4 to the mid lane. And it looks like their plan is to kind of have their 4 core go between mid and bot. And I was talking about the build path earlier. And it is going to be the auto attack build coming out. You missed the predictions? You did not. I missed the predictions. As we have a sort of a first kill as Eric's going to go down. Let me get the predictions out really quick. I'll do a short one. We got 2 minutes. I think that'll be fair. Ah! Boom. Okay. It's okay. We didn't miss any plays. Let's get the predictions going. So far, it is definitely a little bit of an XP lead over to High Inquisitors. If that's going to change how you decide, but there are waves to pick up for gillyShark, so I'm not too concerned about that. But both sides going to take their camps. Level 4 advantage now for High Inquisitors as Iron gets taken out quite low, trying to heal everyone up. But now they have the overpower and Kurama in the middle of everyone, and that's going to be first blood going over to gillyShark. A big one night as now EKB in a bad spot as well, but it's going to be able to walk it out. And it's just going to be that clean 1-0 in favor of gillyShark. As now Stark's trying to push out the bot lane with the Eric. As the most of the team for gillyShark is in that mid lane and actually running up top. And it looks like they kind of want to push towards Balog, but in the Balog is going to go down in the mid lane as they are just trying to push towards Tuesday. But Sir Noble with the Iron Skin will be safe. The Shadow Charge from Schumann did get a little bit of a lockdown, but without the overpower channel. I mean, it's also going to be the Joanna. I don't think they'll have enough damage to poke them down anyway, but Iron trying to be annoying, just doing Lucio things, but Tuesday's free here. Lands the Ancient Spear, and EKB going to be in a weird spot, but will be fine. Thanks for the Sound Blast for Iron, but now they're looking forward. They're gone to Blue Abyss, and Blue Abyss is stuck, and that's going to be a kill. Going over to gillyShark, a big one at 2-0 now. And incidentally, I haven't mentioned it, but it is Wolfheart. So it is going to be that extra 15 armor on Worgen form. That's going to be a lot of tankiness, and it's going to make it a lot safer trying to take down all of these skeletons. But they do have first move for gillyShark here as Iron just still trying to poke them away. Those auto attacks, they don't hurt from the Lucio, but they definitely hurt the soul bit by bit, just poking down your HP, preventing you from mounting as well. But now Chest Looter trying to fight, gets taken out quite low, rolls away. But now Schumann, the one that's slow, and will get taken down. That's going to be the first kill for High Inquisitors. And that's a big kill to get, especially with the Punisher coming up. EKB trying to get some damage over top. Kurama trying to trade forward as well. And it's also important to note, because this is the auto attack build coming out for Kurama, that's going to scale extremely well. That extra anti-armor as they're now jumping onto the Greymane, and that's going to be an immediate kill. They're able to burst down the carry, and with that, I believe they should have enough pressure to just finish off this Mortar Punisher. And let's see how much value they can get from it. They are down half a level now, but that is just the Viking effect. Eventually, you will fall behind and soak, but because they're able to get the Punisher, it might be worth it after all. They're going to take down the wall, the gate, just one more cannon tower before they can get started on the fort. But it is an early Punisher. It is quite weak for now, but the Mortar Punisher actually dealing so much damage over to the fort. Half of its HP gone, as Blue Abyss also gets a little bit of damage over top as well with that Shocker. But interestingly enough, it is going to be that auto attack build coming out from Blue Abyss. As now Schumann just trying to DPS onto whatever's around. Kurama playing forward. And Schumann may have gone a little bit deep, but has the healing, has the spell armor, and is okay for now. But the siege camp will still go the way of High Inquisitors, and they're getting so much poke. As Balog going to get removed from the mid lane once again. Olaf still slowly but surely pushing out the top side, and with that little advantage, High Inquisitors, they can start looking towards this siege camp. They have the numbers advantage, and Tuesday's Free sees that they're not around and wisely backs away over to the wall, over to the safety. And as long as Tuesday's Free doesn't walk forward, there's really nothing to worry about. Killer Fairy's shoving in the mid lane, and now the entire side is moving towards it. Killer Fairy might have gone a bit too deep. Shadow Charge into the wall. The Corruption not going to land, but the DPS may be there with the blind. Schumann's going to be able to get the kill. And now level 10s are there for gillyShark. The Lightning Breath going out over top. Horrify as well, but now Schumann, low HP, could be in a bad spot. Shockray lands over top, and not going to be enough for a kill. So it will just be that 1-0 in favor of gillyShark. Level 10's now going to be up for High Inquisitors as well, as Stark will get finished off by the Ancient Spear, at least on the Olaf. But now the Siege Camp, the third and final one for the High Inquisitors, gonna get finished off here as well, and that'll definitely help even out this experience deficit. They're gonna take this pressure to the mid lane, as actually the bot lane forward got taken down during all that. Probably just from the Siege Camp push. Most of the teams were kind of hiding towards that upper side, especially on gillyShark. They were trying to catch Tuesday's Free. That's going to give them pretty good passive pressure. Now, it's not going to matter as much just because, again, the Viking effect, but it will definitely help. But now the fight's coming out. The Lightning Ball bouncing back and forth, able to take down the Greymane almost immediately. And really nice wall put down by Blue Abyss. And between the CC, between the damage from Kurama, they had more than enough to take it down. And it's also important to note, I'm not sure what level 20 talent Kurama is going to go on the Cassia, but there is a talent that causes auto attacks to ignore armor. And because it is the auto attack build coming out from Kurama, could definitely be a solid option. Because we're starting to see some armor come out from the Diablo. We're seeing some come out over from Chest Looter on the Greymane. So could be some good value there. But now Iron in a bad spot, gets blocked by the wall, trying to heal up, pushes them away. But the leap just falling up onto Iron. And now the Horrify will pull them back, but unfortunately the fight's already over. The healer's already gone, just as the shrine is spawning. High Inquisitors in a really good spot here. Without the healer, it's going to be so hard for gillyShark and Big O Knight to move forward, but Tuesday's Free could be in a bad position. They spot him out, get the Shadow Charge to overpower as well, and Tuesday's Free trying to run away. Lightning Breath over top, and Chest Looter will get the final bit of damage needed. So now it is no longer that 4v5, it is the 4v4. And now Iron's also back, and it's Lucio. Lucio is fast, will be there very quickly on the skates. But it's already 19 skeletons gone. Level 13 talent now up for gillyShark. As Kurama is starting to take a little bit of damage. Same with Sir Noble. And they're going to be able to retake onto the shrine. They're already pressing forward, trying to get as much of these skeletons down as possible. They're almost tied up. But it's 18 to 23 as Shadow Charge is going to land. Sir Noble stuck in the wall. Lurking Arm just going to be in the way for now. But Ball Lightning is over top. Same with the Black Hole. But again, the 75 spell armor from Schumann definitely keeping them alive. But the Blessed Shield. And Iron's going to get taken down again. Sir Noble also low. And the leap onto the backline. EKB gonna go down here. But actually, no, EKB able to heal up. But they will be able to take down the Greymane. And they will be able to take down the Arcane Punisher. And now that's going to be 2 objectives in a row. Now Stark, at the very least, is going to be able to get a little bit of damage over onto this bottom fort. But Tuesday's Free will definitely be able to push it away. But now in the meanwhile, in the mid lane, they've already taken down the wall. And the Arcane Punisher, this time at half HP instead of 1/3. First of all, they have less people that are able to damage it here. They did not have the Greymane here for the start of it. And that should be the mid lane fort going down as well. All 4 members of High Inquisitors besides Tuesday Free gonna be here just to push down these structures, as the Shadow Charge from Schumann had to be used there defensively. Could have been in a bad spot otherwise. But it's 7-4 in kills, about even in levels, due to what I am now going to colloquially call the Viking effect. Again, Firestomp gonna get the vision, but they're not going to be able to defend that siege camp. That will go the way of gillyShark. It will get immediately cleared out, but that's still going to be the experience coming in from it. But it looks like they're considering to play forward. Schumann trying to invade on the siege camp. They have the cursed bullet as well. And the Ball Lightning into everything. The high five trying to keep Schumann alive. Now the leap isn't going to land onto anyone. Schumann's still alive somehow, but neither one's going to be able to go down. The Horrify will stop the fight, but Schumann will still be the only member from both sides going down. There's another kill going the way of High Inquisitors. And they're really starting to show that they're going to be coming out on top in these team fights. Now, I think that they didn't expect Tuesday's Free to be there. And I think the play would have gone a lot better had the Sonya not been around. They had pressure in the mid lane. They had pressure in the top lane. And I think they suspected that Tuesday's Free would be somewhere there. As Eric gets taken down over in the bottom of Tuesday's Free. They're looking for it. They have the Shadow Charge. And without the leap, Tuesday's Free doesn't really have anywhere to go. And just Lightning Breath and the Drain Life trying to spin and actually able to survive for a very long time. But in the end, the kill's gonna be coming out for gillyShark as Baylog gets taken down in the mid lane, as the Vikings do. But this also enables them to get a pretty solid push. They do have 5 members top. Every single Viking here as well. But now the next team fight could be breaking forward as well. They see Killer Fairy, but they don't want to go in. They just wanted to get the pressure in, as Olaf in a bad spot will get finished off. And these death timers for the Vikings are starting to get pretty long. It's 40 seconds until Olaf is back. And now they do have the play again, so it will be able to get Olaf back if they need it. Now, right now, it's still on cooldown for 65 seconds, so definitely no Olaf coming up for this team fight. If it does break open, they are looking towards a bruiser camp. Both sides are level 16. And neither side really wants to be the aggressor. Tuesday's Free now going to be here as well. So if the fight does break open, it would be the 5v5. Schumann getting jumped upon. The Horrify trying to split the fight. And they actually have Kurma in the back line. But Schumann is going to be the first to go down. Kurma is alive. Will be able to survive out of it. And that's going to be a team fight win for the High Inquisitors. They will be able to steal this bruiser camp in their favor. And honestly, they could just use this to push the fort if they want to do that. There is a wall there, but I think if they're able to clear the waves, they have more than enough damage to just get rid of it super quickly. Now, Olaf's going to be here just trying to get the stuns over on a Killer Fairy. And the Bruiser Camp will get cleared by Chest Looter. Now, one benefit for this for gillyShark is they do have Eric still pushing over the bot lane. Should be enough to get the kill as Stark is here in the back line, but it is the Baylog not going to be able to engage. High 5 will be burned for it as Chest Looter gets poked down so low. And it's so difficult playing as that Worgen build when there's so much poke, so much long-range damage coming out of the High Inquisitors, specifically the Tassadar. But the bot lane fort, it did go down to for Stark's Eric. As now the skeletons have spawned, they're getting damaged by both teams. The Fell Flame definitely going to be able to help steal a couple of these as they do get into position. Sir Noble actually gets taken out quite low. But Olaf starting to roam down to the bot lane. We see that over on our minimap. This could be the team fight that gillyShark at Bingo Night wanted to do. Vikings scale really well in terms of damage later on into the game. And Olaf is here in the back line. So we do get a pause as the team fight starts. No. Had some painful pauses in the past. This may have been the worst one yet. And it is the classic internet issue. So that's real unfortunate, but hopefully we're not paused for too long. I mean, we're literally in the middle of a team fight, and there's so much I want to talk about in terms of the positioning, but for competitive integrity, I'm not going to be able to, just because if any of the players are on this stream, I don't want to be giving away any of that info. And most importantly, not that I think anyone would cheat, but it also removes that temptation. You know, make it simple for everyone involved. But a couple things I can talk about is this has been a very close game so far. Barely any difference in terms of level. 9-5 in kills in favor of the High Inquisitor. But there's always going to be a bit more kills when a Viking's involved. First of all. And second of all, going to be the... gotta be just that big pause right as the big team fight starts. Oh, and this is gonna be difficult for both of these two teams to play. It's so much harder to be in a good spot. It's gonna be in a really good spot when the thing starts. Why won't the emote work? Because I haven't gotten it yet. I'll get to work on designing that soon. I still want to get 1 or 2 more ideas so I can send it all to the artist in one go. But oh. We are in game. We are in the team fight now. Shadow Charge will land over onto Sir Noble. Not going to be able to land the stun, though, as Olaf is on the backline. Lightning Breath just burning everyone in the backline, but Olaf will be the first to go down. And in the middle of all that, gillyShark and Bingo Night just going to be able to take that Frozen Punisher. And now they do have the push in the bot thing now. Tuesday's free, will get stunned up, but has the leap if needed to play that defensive play. And now it is kind of unfortunate that they got the bot lane Punisher as their first one because they've already had some value in this bot lane. But now they're aiming for the wall. They've already taken down most of it. And this is where EKBs definitely come out and shine. But now they're looking towards Killer Fairy, but the swipe just trying to build some space and will be able to, as they do have the push. It does land onto 2, and Eric will go down. Eric was there mostly for moral support, so it's not that big a deal. As now on the top side, Balog was trying to push it out, but Olaf's going to be back up. Will take Olaf's rightful place in that top lane as the spinning is happening between the other Vikings. It's always fun watching the main Viking that you can tell isn't the main one being controlled. Like Olaf just spinning there randomly because Balog was trying to push out the mid lane. But gillyShark and Bingo Knight going to be able to take the siege camp. But Chernobyl looks like they want to keep playing forward. And they're going to get a lot of damage with the black hole as well. They're still keeping Schumann alive. And actually, they're going to be able to take down Chernobyl. They're able to take down 2. Kurama, Killer Fairy, Blue Abyss, last survivor. But for how long? Stark is here and not even needed. It's going to be a 5-0. Perfect cleanup from gillySharks and Bingo Knight. And I think that might have just been the game. Because they're going to start pushing over the bot lane. They have a wave. There is a keep here, but it's not that healthy. There's no wall to prevent them. They can just walk forward. They're going to take it down. I believe they do need to take one keep as Stark. Going to bring back all the Vikings, bring back all the brethren from the longboat. And now they have the keep, and now they're looking for the core. The healing is going to be coming through, and what a surprising way to end the game. gillyShark and Bingo Knight. Just one big team fight. They thought they caught Schumann, but Schumann said, nope, you're stuck here with me as they win game number 1. I mean, that was not how I was expecting that game to end at all. Just one massive, just absolutely massive team fight from gillyShark and Bingo Knight. I mean, but that's HOTS for you. That's Heroes of the Storm. Sometimes it's just that one play. That's all you need, and you're able to end the game. They even managed to tie it up in kills in the end. 10-10, and look at the DPS charts. I mean, Passadar and Cassia, Blue Abyss and Kurama just performing really well, but EKB on that Gul'dan able to take that top spot. But either way with that, we're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, it'll be game number 2, so don't go anywhere.
Towers of Doom.
All right, and we're here for map number 2, Towers of Doom. Those should be another fun one. We've seen some pretty good matches up on this map before. As let's get the predictions running. And this time, since I remember to do it as the draft started, we can have it go for 5 full minutes. But either way, the pick and bans should be starting shortly. And the Lost Vikings were picked over on Infernal Shrines. And I definitely had some pretty good effect there for gillyShark and Bingo Knight. But this is a very good Vikings map. Towers of Doom, they absolutely shine on this map. They're able to double soak literally better than anyone else because they're literally in 2 lanes at the same time. And they're able to push in well. They scale super well. It's just a really good hero to pick here. Now the draft has already begun. Kelthus going to be banned by gillyShark. Meriden going to get banned by the High Inquisitors. And just trying to get rid of the tanks once again. But the KT ban, little bit interesting for me. I think you can definitely buy a lot of space with the Phoenix. And I'm guessing that's the main reason for that ban. As Johanna going to be the final ban coming out of gillyShark. And they have a very different draft coming out for this game too. Sir Noble did manage to play the Johanna in game 1. They freely gave it away and did eventually end up beating it. But gonna remove it this time around. Now High Inquisitors, they will take the Dahaka. And once again, that leaves Lucio open for Iron. So it doesn't seem like High Inquisitors are too concerned about the Lucio. And I do think they dealt with it pretty well. They got a lot of pickoffs on Iron, especially early on in the game. It was definitely annoying. There were some moments where the Lucio was just constantly in their face, able to scout them out, able to dismount them. Just doing Lucio things, you know? And the high 5 double cleanse also super powerful, but I don't think the Lucio was the problem. I don't think that's why they lost. And I think they agree because they're drafting very similar this time around. Except this time they're going to take the Diablo for themselves on a Sir Noble and the Tassadar for Bandit. But if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Lost Vikings for Stark. Greymane for Chest Looter. Now, they're definitely not going to be able to get the same draft as Diablo has already been picked by the High Inquisitors. But I mean, they definitely still have their options. Gul'dan still open, as Garrosh is going to be the ban for the High Inquisitors. Very common counterpick to the Diablo. Definitely opens up a lot of engage potential. Because if the Garrosh is nearby, can just chuck the Diablo away and put the Diablo a little bit out of position than where they did intend with their initial engage. And now final ban going to be the Stukov. They will be forced onto a different healer on the side of High Inquisitors. But now there's still quite a few healers available. Obviously the White Maid's available. That is their logo. I don't know if they actually do play it this season especially, but I've seen it around a little bit. And then out of the other big ones, Brightwing still available, Rhaegar is available. Anduin actually has kind of gone through both these 2 drafts. I'm wondering if that's going to be picked up. But no, it is going to be the Brightwing for Kurama and Zul'jin for Blue Abyss. Now the Zul'jin's going to be pretty interesting today. Because, I mean, Zul'jin's very fun to watch. It is more of a caster now, kind of like an auto attack caster, but we saw last game the Tassadar does play more as the as an auto attack hero. And Limbus, yeah, I don't think they're playing a board because they have a very similar draft to game 1, but this is going to be a little bit different. Stitches for Schumann and Junkrat for EKB. That is a fun little pick today. I mean, Stitches definitely able to provide a lot of damage. Or not damage, but a lot of pick-off potential. It is a little bit harder into the Brightwing, but definitely still doable with a Blink heal. But the Zul'jin's still a good target. Tassadar's a good target. Even Diablo, to some extent, is a good target. And especially without there being without there being an Anduin, there's less safety coming in from the High Inquisitors. As Zagara going to be the final pick now. Zagara is really good at winning a lane, and Towers of Doom bot lane is the most important lane. But if you lose the other ones, definitely not worth it. Well, that being said, the drafts are complete. Let's get ready for game number 2. But before we get in, big shout out to the sponsor of the Tokibi stream, Legend of Mushroom. Click the panel down below or the link in the chat and download for free today.
Prepare yourself for battle, heroes.
And once again, that was Legend of Mushroom. It's an idle RPG game. If you want to give it a try, click the link in chat, click the panel down below. And just by downloading it, you're helping support this stream, which enables me to bring more and better casts to you. But now with that being done and out of the way, let's get into the game. And how it's definitely very different drafts this time around from both these two teams. gillyShark playing that Stitches. And it's always fun watching a Stitches play because really any time Schumann can make a play. It's not always guaranteed, but it's definitely possible. Now, meanwhile, it looks like High Inquisitors, they're starting in the mid lane as we're going straight to another pause, unfortunately. But that is normal for now, I guess. One of the players is in the bathroom. The map's loaded in. Oh, that's too funny. That's actually way too funny. I've seen many excuses for the pause. That may have been the first time I have ever seen that before in my life. That's really good, but it does seem like they're already back. They should be getting started momentarily. Just a very short pause. As both sides are saying ready. Yeah, okay, we're getting started. I had the music on for just a little bit, but either way, we're back in the place. Oh, I've never seen that before. That's really funny. But gillyShark and Bingo Knight going to get started the way they usually do, just immediately pushing down one of these towers. They're not going to be able to finish it off, but they're definitely going to be in a good spot to do so later on. It's super low, and just a couple of hits from even one of the minions would definitely be enough to take it down. But now there's a little bit of trading. Stark just trying to get in the way, and it's actually going to be the Zagara playing the offlane. Yeah, I didn't realize that during the draft, but that is an offlane Zagara. Now Sir Noble looking for the engage, and they're on to Chest Looter. Both the Concussion Mine will be able to play back a little bit, but the wall will be there instead, and that's going to be first blood. Now Sir Noble starting to get low, will not be burst down, but could still get finished off. Kurama with the face of going to be able to keep Sir Noble alive as Olaf goes down in the offlane, able to take down Stark. The Tuesday's free. Gonna have a pretty good start too, but that was a very close team fight. And again, that just shows that the Stitches, any pull, any hook could immediately turn any situation on its head. It could create an advantage out of nowhere. It could create a comeback out of nowhere. But now they already have one of the siege camps, but the hook from Schumann not going to be able to land onto anyone as they are taking the Sapper camp on the side of High Inquisitors. But now Sir Noble looking for Iron, and will be able to just run it out with that speed boost and just trying to bounce off the walls to get in a good position. But the main positioning here definitely in favor for gillyShark. But Sir Noble just walks up, retakes control of the lane, and with that they will be able to clear out all of the Sapper camps. Sir Noble looking forward, will get poked down a little bit. But either way, still going to be a little bit of a trade back and forth. But most importantly, High Inquisitors do take control of the wave as another hook just barely doesn't land as Sir Noble goes in with the Shadow Charge. Concussion might get to throw Sir Noble back into the wall, but it's not going to be enough. Phase shift from Kurama will be able to heal them back up. A little bit of trading back and forth as again Iron just looking at Sir Noble, but now Iron may have stepped too far and will get taken out. Will get traded though for Blue Abyss. So it's going to be the Zul'jin for the Lucio. Just as the altars are spawning in 30 seconds, but not having a healer definitely going to be a little bit rough for gillyShark and Bingo Knight. EKB definitely low. Chest Looter also slightly low, but does have the well going. It does have that tap. Now looking at stacks, it is going to be the Shockwave build, so it's going to be a different build this time around coming from Bandit, though obviously Bandit did not play last game. But they're looking for Sir Noble, going to push them further into the wall. Shadow Charge not going to be enough, and just perfect CC layering with the body blocking, with the push coming out from Iron. There's no way forward for them anymore, and the rest of their squad is very squishy. And in the meanwhile, Baylog was able to take the altar on the top side. And Tuesday's free. Gonna get taken out pretty low, but now Kurama gonna come down here as well. It will be 8 damage going towards High Inquisitor, so definitely a win for gillyShark. This time around, as now they're looking towards Bandit, gonna be able to push him back, but it is just the Baylog with the Lucio. Not gonna be too much pressure they can do. But they will have the wave, and they will have a little bit of a push already coming through onto this bottom cannon tower. Now they do have to back it out, but that is free permanent damage to these structures. As Sir Noble mounted up, getting ready. And we'll just drop onto Schumann. But it's just going to be a little bit of trading back and forth. Neither side's really going to take too much from it, as the hook is going to go wide. And every time the hook is down, it does mean that the High Inquisitors have some time to play aggressive. Schumann going to get knocked into the wall. Polymorphed as well with the overpower. But will be able to just chomp back on a Sir Noble. Will be able to heal back up and run away to safety. That concussion mine kind of knocking away Blue Abyss and Bandit definitely helped keep Schumann alive. Would have been in a very tough position otherwise, as both teams are going to be onto their siege camps, taking down their sappers. Going to get completed by gillyShark. Now it's going to be completed by the High Inquisitors. But gillyShark at Bingo Knight, they're starting to move towards this mid lane, and it looks like they're just sending everyone top. Could be looking towards Tuesday's free, as Iron going to try to get the bounce back, but Tuesday's free already in a safer spot. And with that, they should start roaming down. But interesting play to do when you do have a sapper camp pushing in. I'm wondering if they were just trying to hope for that pickoff, but I think they're giving up a lot of pressure on the bot lane to get that. A little bit of trading going back. Sir Noble looking forward onto EKB. And we'll get taken out a little bit low, but the healing more than enough from Iron. But that's still going to be the sapper camp landing on the wall. And just like that, the structures are more or less even out. I think that gillyShark still have a little bit more damage towards the bot lane, but that's really the only difference.
The altars have risen.
But now the altars, they're up and available. Both teams going to look to get them down, as Kurama channeling pretty well. The grenade's not going to be able to land, but they will land the hook. Iron in a bad spot, has to run away. Concussion mine is there as well, and Iron will survive with just a little bit of HP left over. But as the healer will be able to heal back up a little bit faster than almost any other role. But the trading still going back and forth, and Tuesday's going to be here as well. They have the root. They're looking on Blue Abyss, and EKB gonna jump in. Not going to be able to get the kill, and in the meanwhile, they already got the altar. Sir Noble in a bad spot. Concussion Mine going to pull them even further, but the Diablo's healthy. Kurama's able to keep them alive as the hook. Not going to land onto Kurama. But Sir Noble looking aggressively towards Schumann, has the overpowered, but just going to be a little bit of trading back and forth. Level 10's now up for gillyShark as Baylog goes down. I'm not even sure where Baylog was. I guess somewhere in the mid lane, because that's where Stark had the other kill, considering the kill did go to Tuesday's free, so most likely mid lane. And now in more fighting in the bot lane, Sir Noble going to knock Schumann back, but with a high five, no more lockdowns going to be able to land. And Iron will just be able to heal Schumann back up. But it's 2-4-2, 32-32. Almost everything on the map is even. So this game could definitely swing either way. Now, talking about scaling, though, they do have quite a bit of it, as they have the Gorge. And they could be looking towards Schumann. Or, sorry, towards Sir Noble. Will get slowed. Will get hit by the cursed arrow. Or cursed bullet. And that's going to be just a free kill for them. As in the top lane, Olaf will go down. And incidentally, it is the Nidus Swarm getting picked. It's not going to be the Maw. And I think that's probably the answer to try and deal with the Vikings. Have more opportunity to move between lanes. And now Sir Noble still playing aggressively. Going to get rooted up by the trap. And it will be the Sapper Camp going over towards gillyShark. But now where's the team fight? Lightning Breath not going to land. But the Black Hole not going to land. But Lightning Breath definitely going to deal a lot of damage. Now Schumann and Iron are low, but they will still be able to steal the camp. And they can now start looking towards their own. Now the altars are spawning in about 5 seconds. But Schumann and Iron, they're both Schumann's low on HP, Iron's low on mana. Sir Noble looking to play aggressively, as they're going to be able to knock Sir Noble back. And now the wall is in the way. Sir Noble just kind of caught between everyone and Korma, trying to keep them alive, but not going to happen. The hook not even necessary, but they're looking to play forward. They're trying to knock them back with a high five, keeping Chest Looter alive, as Stark is dealing a lot of damage to Blue Abyss, but who's attacking who right now? And during all that, Tuesday's free did get taken down in the offlane. Stark able to get that solo kill, as Chest Looter will be able to get the first altar. But now Bandit trying to sneak out the one in the bot lane. Won't be able to. The hook not going to land, but the Sapper Camp, one of them at least, will. And it looks like 2 and 3 will be able to crash into the bottom bell tower as well, as we see another set of missiles or whatever they are. Okay, actually, what even are they sending onto the course? I've never even thought about it before, but either way, it's going to be 4 more damage, 32 to 24. But they have the hook, they have the munch. But who are they aiming towards? It's on Blue Abyss, and they will get chomped down as well. Riptire going to deal a lot of damage, but Blue Abyss will be able to survive it. Kurama has the extra HP, extra healing, as the hook almost lands on a bandit, just slightly out of range. Could have been a very nice follow-up. But now Chernobyl gets pushed into the back line. Just going to be a little bit of poke damage, though. Not going to amount to too much quite yet. Now Schumann's hiding behind the wall, but can only pull heroes up to the wall. But not going to be able to find anyone. Kind of fishing blindly into that brush. Would have been a big hook if someone was there. And I mean, it's definitely one of those things where, especially if there's no wave to be pressured on, you can kind of just throw out the hook. You don't lose too much by it. There's definitely some times where you want to make sure it's up just in case, if it provides an engage opportunity for the enemy team. But sometimes you can just hook, and Kurama going to be able to dodge it just barely with the blink heal. But good attempt by Schumann. Now the next set of altars is going to be coming up, but in the meanwhile, Chernobyl gonna get eaten once again. Shadow Charge trying to escape and will be able to this time around, but the hook lands on Kurama, and with the extra healing will be okay. Lightning Breath almost takes out Chest Looter, literally 9 HP on that Junkrat, as the phase shift will come back. Chernobyl will be okay as well, and the Gorge makes it so much harder to try and deal with it in position against gillyShark. Kind of similar to some extent how the Garrosh deals with the Diablo, but obviously much longer cooldown, as Eric will go down. Now both sides are playing towards the top side, and this time both teams will have all their members there. Now will be 4 damage guaranteed going towards gillyShark, but now the fight's happening for the last bit, as Olaf starting to get really autoed by Blue Abyss, getting quite a bit of damage over on that top side. But now both sides aren't in even talent here, but 1 level up for gillyShark. Those stats typically don't matter too much, but you never know. They can add up. And this time around, it looks like High Inquisitors no longer want to compete for it, and Chest Looter will be able to just turn it in. What they do want is the Sapper Camp over in this bot lane. And now they have the inside track. They have the inside position. But Chest Looter almost walks into them. Schumann hiding behind the wall. They could be looking towards that play as well. Kurama gonna get pulled as Bandit. Not gonna get hooked, but they do have the concussion mine. Will be able to knock them back, but that will still be the camp stolen. But now they could find Tuesdays free. They have the knockback. Do they have the hook? And it does look like Schumann's gonna be able to go for it. Was trying to make sure that they weren't gonna get jumped on from below, and I think that does make sense. The Sapper Camp, at least 2 of them will be able to land. The third one is just trying to get the wave pushed in, but Chernobyl gonna get eaten. Once again, the high five's not gonna be able to come out as Schumann stuck in the trap, and with the Riptire, a lot of damage onto the backline, but Chernobyl will be just knocked away with the concussion mine. And it's just gonna be an even trade of abilities for now. Or I say even trade, but definitely more heroics burned by the side of gillyShark. And now the Sapper Camp could be pushing in. All 3 of the stolen ones landed. Now it's about the ones that High Inquisitors work towards, and will be cleared out, so won't have those land at the very least. But Schumann could look for a hook, but will instead mount up. And having the threat of hook does matter a lot for these fights as well. If Schumann's hiding in the walls or in the brushes, could definitely look for a play as the hook will land onto Bandit, and that's a very good target, but will be safe, will be peeled back. But now Schumann just kind of gonna get stuck in the middle of everyone. Concussion Mine gonna split off at least Bandit and Kurama, so they're gonna have less of those carries. But now with this, Stark gonna be able to channel onto potentially to Bandit, looking for the channel over in the bot lane one, and will be able to secure it, as they are just kind of trading onto Tuesdays free. Now at least 4 damage will go, and the Gorge, they will be able to take down the Zul'jin, but doesn't really matter. It's more fun watching the Vikings try and work towards it. Stark just kind of keeping them off of it for now, and really able to get in the way. Iron's going to be here as well. Now Eric's going to go down, but with that, they have canceled everything. And Olaf looking forward towards Chernobyl. They have the hook on it. Tuesdays free, and Tuesdays free is going to go down with a black hole to the Lightning Breath. Only going to take down Eric, the squishiest of the Vikings. but that's still a massive kill to get. Now they're playing forward Riptire for zoning, and Sir Noble going to be stuck in the wrong spot, able to use the Shadow Charge. The Riptire actually ended up giving them an extra escape. But in the end, it's still going to be a victory for gillyShark. It's going to be 24-12 now. That's another hook not going to be able to land. But huge team fights coming out of gillyShark. And, I mean, that looked really good for High Inquisitors. Just needed a little bit more damage on that play. But the Lightning Breath into the Black Hole combo was perfect. They were just too healthy to start. And now the Sapper Camp is back up. gillyShark going to be able to take that and could look towards stealing the enemy Sapper Camp as well. They definitely have the inside track, but it looks like their focus instead is to kind of get the bot lane pushed in first, and maybe after that they could start contesting onto it. But no, it seems like the main play here is to just try and push the waves in, maybe get the extra little bit of the Sappers coming in. As the hook, not going to be able to land. No one's there. But again, those blind hooks, when they do land, they result in a kill. So it's always worth throwing them out. Now the Sappers did land. So this bottom bell tower is very low. Sir Noble just trying to position forward. Sees a chest shooter and actually goes in. But the Cursed Bull is going to be traded back into the hook. Onto Sir Noble with the Gorge on action. The wrong side of the wall. So this could be a place where Noble will be able to get healed back, knocked backwards by the concussion mine, but the Black Hole into the Lightning Breath again. Riptire just dealing damage. Chest Looter is low, but will be okay for now. Now Bandit getting slowed, gonna get pushed back, but Iron now caught in the Shadow Charge in the overpower as well, and the Polymorph more than enough to get the kill. The concussion mine not able to throw anyone back over the wall. It's a big pickoff for the High Inquisitors, and the altars are spawning in 7 seconds. And most importantly, this is a very low HP bell tower. They will be able to take over bot lane, and this also means this altar is going to be worth 5 HP, not 4.
Swift heroes.
Now, in the meanwhile, looking at the pushes over in the mid lane, both sides have definitely taken damage on these walls. Now, gillyShark looking for the hook, not going to be able to land it. And I'm wondering if they're aiming towards the boss. Stark is pushing in with Olaf, as Balog is getting caught out in the mid lane. Will just go down. Hashtag just Viking things. It looks like gillyShark at Bingo Night, they were trying to defend against the boss. They didn't want to start it themselves, but they wanted to make sure the High Inquisitors weren't able to get even more off that play. But now they are looking towards the Blue Abyss. Could be in a bad spot, but not going to get pulled back. No hook was available for it, but Stark still pushing out the top side and scaling up. The level 20s are now there. Schumann has the inside position, and the hook not going to be able to land. Not enough range. Olaf will go down, and Eric as well, actually. So that will be that double kill. And there is no... what even is this heroic ability? Play again. The play again is not going to be there, so it's just going to be Balog. Max control, max actions per minute. Coming out as the teleport will land on an Iron. Will get hit by everything else and trying to get away, but the wall going to prevent the high five to save him. And now Sir Noble in a bad spot as well. Already used the escape and will go down in the trade. Now Schumann with another hook. Not going to be able to land it on Blue Abyss. The Fairy Dust from Korma actually gave enough movement speed that Blue Abyss was able to just walk back. But this is a good position to be in for High Inquisitors. They had the souls. It's still going to be 4v5 on the map. And now Schumann could be in a bad spot as well against trapped and make that a 4v3. Make that a 4v2. Schumann's gone. Stark is gone. There's a double altar. And Tuesday's free. Looking to finish off this mid lane bell tower as well. This would be worth 6 damage per altar. That's going to be 12 full health if they're able to get both of them. And I don't see any reason why they can't. But luckily, EKB will at least be able to defend onto that mid lane fort. And it does look like they're just going to settle for some of the damage, or I say that, but the Twin Cleave going to come out of Blue Abyss, and now they're going to get... I hate doing math, but that's going to be 12 full damage. It's going to be 7 health left for gillyShark. And the Sappers are pushing in as well. This is a really good spot to be in. High Inquisitors could start looking towards ending this game as Stark is going to get burst down. Eric taking so much damage. Now they're trying to keep the Sapper camp away, and both of them will go through. So it's 5 HP. This means this next altar could be the game. One more Sapper and the boss could be the game. High Inquisitors, more and more options to close this out. Now Bandit walking forward in the meanwhile. There was a bit of a dive in. Tuesday's free, surviving at 20 HP. Going to be able to take down two of the Vikings as a reply, but now Blue Abyss gets knocked into the back line. Does get healed as well, and the hook not going to be able to land Kurama with enough healing. But now they have the Gorge Riptire just to separate out the fight. And the Riptire will go down immediately. Sir Noble trying to use the teleport, but is running between the fort. But actually they own this fort as well, but the next hook will be able to take them down. The Diablo is gone. And now they have members here in the mid lane. Will be able to bring back this bell tower. Leaves potentially bad. It doesn't want to allow it. Schumann in a good spot. Almost going to land on a Blue Abyss. And that is the Stitches effect. We've had the Vikings effect. Now we have the Stitches effect. Just trying to get as much pressure as possible across the map. But High Inquisitors, they're looking towards the boss. If they're able to get this, any bit of damage towards gillyShark will be the game. But the boss is really damaging them. They're taking a while to finish it off, but should still be free. They have all their members. gillyShark, they're not dealing with this at all. They will at least get all their altars back, but that is 4 damage. 12-1. That's all the health bars there are on these cores. Now Schumann could look for a play through this mid lane. And with the concussion mine, they could definitely get more value as they're able to get onto Bandit. And now this is the target they definitely want to eat. They have the snap trap as well, and Bandit got to go down. That's a massive kill for them to get. And now they're also going to be able to get the 4 damage. Just 1 HP. Can they hold out? Can they bring this game back? Bottom bell tower still in their favor. It's still quite low, and they're going to be able to finish it off immediately. Now, how much more can they get? Like I said, Bandit's still down. Star getting jumped upon in the mid lane. Will be stunned, and with the Shadow Charge, they will be able to take down Balog. But again, it's just one of the Vikings. There's still 2 more, and the play again available. And the Sapper Camp's also going the whiff. gillyShark, the hook. Not going to be able to land on a Kurama. Could have been close, though. And there's going to be 2 Sapper Camps here soon. They still don't have Bandit, and this Siege Camp is going to be available. And I think High Inquisitors, they definitely want to try blocking this out. The top bell tower did go down. So there's still... So it is even on the map. It's still going to be 4 damage per altar. Well, with that, gillyShark at Bingo Night will be able to take that other set of Sappers as well. And now they want to pressure this in. If they can get the 6 damage, they don't even need 6. They just need 4. But Blue Abyss gonna get hit as well. Gonna get pulled back. And that should be it for the Zul'jin. The Taz Dingo is there, but not going to be able to accomplish too much. Just trying to trade back and forth. EKB actually gets taken out quite low, as they also find Sir Noble. The cleanse has to come out. The Soothing Mist. Riptire just to create space and push the waves in. And now Bandit is back, and they will get 1. Ooh, it's just going to be the 1 damage, though. It will add up. But now there are 2 altars. If gillyShark's able to get both, like, the game's going to end no matter what on this play. gillyShark need to take both. High Inquisitors just need to be able to sneak 1. And now they're looking towards Sir Noble. Sir Noble gonna get stunned up. Gonna get taken out to pretty low HP. And they have the concussion mine as well. But with the teleport, gonna be able to get back to safe. But now they have Bandit. And Bandit's able to jump away with the blink heal. Has the invisibility. One of the altars went down. Whoever gets this altar wins the game. Everything is decided on this play. And Bandit gets hooked. Schumann with the clutch hook again. The deep fight's still going. They're able to find one of the Starks, but are they able to take it down? In the meanwhile, Kurama is in the back line. Gonna get rooted up. It's gonna be the kill. The Brightwing's gone. The play again's already been used, but it's just 1 Viking gone to 2 of the main targets. And now Chest Looter can start looking towards it, but they're aiming towards Sir Noble instead. Chest Looter is gonna be channeling the backline. Blue Abyss and Tuesday's free, trying to buy some space, but it'll be too little. It'll be too late. gillyShark and Bingo Night able to get the 2-0 domination. Yeah, I mean, to say that was a close game would be a massive understatement. 1 HP for gillyShark at Bingo Night, but they were able to come out on top in the end. They were able to just get a couple clutch hooks by Schumann, one after the other, and in the team fights, just really well played together. They knew how to get this map to work for them, and with that, they're going to be able to get the domination. Massive win for them. Now I'm going to try to get an interview going, so please give me a moment while I do set that up. Da-da-da. Okay, I have sent out the invite, and now we wait. But yeah, I gotta say that was an absolutely insane game and an insane finish. I mean, it's crazy that we got to see Vikings twice. And frankly, I'm a little bit surprised the High Inquisitors did allow it in game 2. It is such a good Vikings map. I don't think there are any better ones in the entire game. Ooh, but with that, we do have someone. Hello, hello.
Hello, GG's.
Yeah, GG, well earned. And I'm here. I believe you are a chest looter in the game, right?
That is me, yes.
All right, so that was the Junkrat. That was the one that dealt 110,000 damage, by the way, in that second game. Lots of DPS coming out from you. But
Didn't even go the damage talents.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, congratulations on that 2-0 domination. How does it feel?
It feels good to win, and like everything, winning. But my heart kind of does go out to the High Inquisitors. They've had a lot of roster turmoil in the last couple weeks. So honestly, I'm just glad we were able to have a match.
Well, luckily you were able to play, and you were also able to come out on top. Now, tell me about that game too. I mean, that came down to the wire. Just whoever was able to get that final altar wins the game. How was it for you?
As bad as it probably looked from the observer point of view, it never really felt that bad for us. Sure, we took a couple bad fights and had to cede some positions. They ended up taking bot tower and a lot of tower shots with it. But we never really felt behind. I think we were head and soak the entire game thanks to the Vikings. Stark played them beautifully in both games. And honestly, I think our heroes scaled better into the late game than theirs did. And once we reached the double bell tower phases where we could just send a Viking to cap one and our 6-man could go take the other one, I think that on paper is favorable for us.
Yeah, for sure. But I still have to admire the confidence. I mean, sitting down at the 1 HP definitely got to be scary. But I mean, who am I to say? You were right. You ended up getting that win. That left altar was pretty free with one of the Vikings, and with just a couple of good hooks, we're able to take down that second one as well.
Yeah, I think Schumann hit level 16 or so and never missed a hook for the rest of the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love watching him play that hero.
Now, for the Vikings, I'm actually a little bit surprised that that was allowed in game 2. Do you think? Did you expect to be able to get the Lost Vikings on towers?
I didn't think that we were going to be getting the Vikings, but we had other stuff cooked up that I probably shouldn't talk about.
Yeah,
that would have been.
I am not asking you to
effective.
reveal your strats. That's all. Don't you worry about that.
We also honestly didn't expect the Lucio to get through either. I guess they expect the Tassadar to be a sufficient counter for the high fives.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely caught Iron out a couple times with those walls. Now, is that something that was pretty difficult to deal with, or do you think that Iron was still able to perform around that?
Yeah, I think he was able to perform. I believe the stat line for this season is that his Lucio is 11-0.
That's a pretty good stat.
Yeah, I'd say that's an all right one.
All right. Well, with that win, let me just double check my knowledge here, but that does put you up to 22 points in third place, granted with 1 or 2 more games than the top 2. But with playoffs coming up decently soon, what are your thoughts going on into the postseason?
I think there are some teams in this division that we are favored against. I think there are other teams that we're less favored against. Ultimately, it's been a pretty competitive division, at least from my perspective. Even the teams who are a bit lower in the standings put out some great games. And really, I think anyone could take it.
All right. Do you have any goals going into it, or just perform as well as you can?
I think our goals are to perform well, have fun, and make sure everyone's able to play. And
that's the perfect soundbite. Thank you for that. But one final question. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans out there? Any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, I mean, shout outs to Gilly Weed. She's not as active in the scene anymore, but we wouldn't exist as a team without her involvement. So major shout outs to her. Shout outs to the folks who hung around in Discord and cheered us on, like the Lazy Hydra. And in particular, shout outs to Miller Coffee, or as he's known in our Discord as the Big Noodle. He
Good
was
name.
suited up, ready to play tonight, and ultimately we managed to get the dub without him. But he was around, he was ready to play. Major shout outs to him.
Well, at the very least, was able to provide that moral support. But either way, thank you for coming to this interview, and congrats again on your 2-0.
Thank you, and thanks for casting.
Always my pleasure. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
All right, and with that being said, with that being done, thank you to Until Today 07 for the follow, Nara too as well. And we will have another game starting in about 50 minutes, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. But in the meanwhile, gotta do the sponsor obligations. So if you want to hang around, I'm gonna be playing some Legend of Mushroom. If you want to come back for the game, like I said, 7:30, 10:30, put up a reminder and be back to watch that heroic game between the Boomers versus a Solid School. Should be a very good matchup. But let me just quickly get set up here, and we'll get going right away with Legend of Mushrooms. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back in about 1 minute.